Fabio Wibmer grew up seeing cities not as traffic and buildings, but as one endless line. He is an Austrian rider who blends trials, precision with freeride confidence, turning quiet streets into high-pressure playgrounds. In 2019, he released Wibmer's Law, a project built around a frozen Vienna. For a few minutes, cars stop and the city belongs to his bike. Every curb, bench, and stair becomes part of a single, unbroken idea. A year later, during home office, the world slows down for real. Instead of plazas and tram lines, he rides kitchen counters, bedroom doors, and narrow stair rails. The outside city disappears, but the mindset stays the same. Each move is planned, measured, and repeated until it feels almost silent. Across these years, Fabio's style grows tighter and more exact. He is not chasing chaos or big crashes. He is chasing lines that feel impossible at first, then look calm once he finally links them together. In Porto in 2019, a long stair run becomes a test of endurance. The steps are steep, narrow, and stacked for what feels like forever. This is not one impact, it is dozens of small hits, one after another. Fatigue climbs fast through his legs and hands. Fabio has to manage speed, impact, and focus all at once. He lets the bike breathe under him and rides loose but controlled. He saves just enough energy for what comes after the stairs. Vienna's tram tracks look harmless from a sidewalk, but for a street rider, they are a trap. A single mistake can grab the front wheel and throw the whole line away. In Wibmer's Law, Fabio has to cross them at speed with very little room. He reads each set of rails like pieces in a puzzle. Angle, timing, and commitment decide everything. The city stays the same, but his line through it stays razor-specific. On the rooftops of Porto, one handrail line sits above everything else. There is no soft landing, no safe mistake built into this spot. A slip here is not just a crash, it is a fall nobody wants to imagine. Fabio has to quiet that thought and treat the rail like any other narrow edge. He trusts years of balance work and fixes his eyes on the exit. Calm routine pushes back against real fear. Home office turns Fabio's own kitchen into a trial zone. The counters become balance beams, with hard edges and a floor that gives nothing back. It looks playful, but a mistake here still means real impact on tiles, cabinets, and his body. He has limited space, so every move has to be efficient. He tests grip and trusts his balance. He rides the line as if it were a narrow ledge high above a city street. Before the tight city projects, Fabio spent long days in Saalbach chasing speed on open mountain trails. Those lines demand the same focus, but everything happens faster. Rocks, roots, and drops arrive in seconds, not minutes. One wrong choice at high speed can end both the run and the filming day. Here he learns to read terrain early and commit without hesitation. That mountain rhythm follows him into the city later, where he mixes downhill instinct with sharp trials-level precision. Innsbruck's stair sets link plazas, roads, and quiet corners into one long run. Each set looks simple alone, but together they drain strength from his legs and hands. The harsh steps hit repeatedly, sending impact up through the frame and into his arms. Fabio has to pace himself like an endurance athlete while riding like a street rider. He chooses when to push and when to breathe. He uses flat landings between stairs as quick checkpoints to reset his body. Down near the river in Porto, a narrow wall ride hides between buildings. The wall is rough, the edge is sharp, and there is only one clean exit line. Too slow and the tires slide down. Too fast, and there is no room to land. Fabio has to commit with exact speed and hold it. For a brief second, he rides sideways, trusting grip and timing more than anything else. Then he snaps back to level ground and carries the line onward. The stair rail slide in home office shrinks street danger into a living room scale. The risk is still real. Walls, edges, and furniture close in around him. There is almost no margin for a drifting front wheel or a missed landing. Fabio relies on repetition and calm breathing. He runs the approach again and again until it feels automatic, then finally lets the full line happen. The move lasts only seconds, but it carries hours of preparation. At the Porto riverfront, a clean drop meets harsh cobblestones. The water glows nearby, but the real threat sits under his tires. Hard stone waits to punish any mistake in speed or landing angle. Fabio keeps his body loose and his mind sharp. He smooths the drop, absorbs the impact, and threads straight into the next rough section without hesitation. Back in Vienna, one of the most stressful moments does not happen on a rooftop or stair set. It happens between parked cars on a narrow street. Space tightens, visibility drops, and the city feels alive again with real traffic and noise. Fabio has to trust more than his balance. He reads tiny gaps, listens for engines, and adjusts speed on instinct. The line looks smooth on screen, but every meter is a calculation made in real time. Around 2020, Fabio changes equipment and joins Canyon. On paper, it is a simple sponsor move. In reality, it means learning a new bike from zero while the world watches. Frame feel, balance point, even how the bike reacts to hard landings changes overnight. He spends quiet sessions away from big features, just feeling how this new setup responds. Small side hops, short manuals, gentle drops. Only when that connection feels natural again does he return to heavy urban lines. Wood features in Saalbach look smooth, but hide their own risks. Boards can flex, gaps can open, and a small error becomes a broken wheel or a bad fall. These structures demand respect long before the camera rolls. Fabio takes time to listen and feel every line before committing at speed. He notes soft spots, checks transitions, and stores the whole shape of the feature in his head. Only then does he let speed enter the equation. On an Innsbruck plaza, a simple manual line becomes a strength test. There is no big drop or obvious danger, only the demand to hold balance over distance. Core muscles burn, arms tighten, and every small wobble tries to pull the front wheel down early. Fabio keeps his focus on a point ahead and trusts the training nobody sees. When the wheel finally returns to the ground, it feels less like a trick and more like proof of control. The bedroom bounce to doorway gap in home office looks playful on screen. In reality, it is unforgiving space. A bed, a frame, and a narrow opening leave almost no room for error. A wrong takeoff angle means bars in the wall or pedals hitting hard. Fabio keeps the move small and efficient. He uses just enough energy from the mattress to clear the door. Then he lands centered for the next indoor problem. In Porto, a staircase to rooftop transfer stacks risk in a few fast seconds. He moves from uneven steps to a hard roof edge with no smooth transition. The impact is sharp, the height is real, and there is no backup plan. Fabio has to trust his speed and timing. Too early or too late, and the front wheel clips the edge. When it works, the line feels effortless, but the tension stays in every replay. A curb to bollard hop in Vienna looks small compared to rooftops and big drops, but it is pure focus. The landing spot is tiny, exposed, and hard. Missing by a few centimeters means slipping off or striking metal. Fabio treats it like a quiet exam. He centers his weight, blocks out street noise, and commits to one clean movement. From curb to bollard to alley rollout, everything depends on that split second in the air. Across these projects, one threat never makes it into the highlight reels: fatigue. Repeated hits slowly wear down wrists, shoulders, and focus. The more tired he gets, the smaller his safety margin becomes on every new line. Fabio learns to pace heavy impacts through the day. He mixes harsh drops with slower balance moves that let his grip recover. It is a quiet strategy, but without it, the biggest tricks simply would not happen. Late in the day in Vienna, light starts to fade, and the body feels every earlier impact. Fabio still finds the energy to put together one more full line. It is not the highest or the longest, but it threads several tight moves into one clean sequence. A curb ride, a gap, a turn, all linked with almost no pause, filmed after hours of effort. This is where his approach is most visible. There is no rush, no extra showmanship, just exact timing and trust in repetition. The city is still complicated and busy around him, yet his line through it feels calm, almost quiet. like a final signature. Fabio's riding looks calm because the chaos is already handled long before the camera rolls. He treats every spot, from big city plazas to his own kitchen, as a serious problem to solve. Rails, walls, stairs, beds, and countertops all become pieces in one long story about control. He does not rely on wild speed or constant risk to impress. Instead, he uses speed only where it helps the line flow. The real drama sits in the tiny decisions you can barely see. He manages fatigue, spaces out impacts, and keeps breathing steady when the margin for error disappears. That is why his lines stay quiet, clean, and fast. Underneath the smooth riding, every second is packed with work.